Hello everyone, I'm Dalton Ryan.
I'm Ryan Warner.
And we are the Movie Nights. Well, some of them. And if you're listening to this, it's because you want to hear our thoughts and opinions about random-ass movies that are uncensored and unfiltered. I fucked up the intro a little bit, but that's okay. Also, if you're listening on SoundCloud, please subscribe to us on YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in Movie Nights. We'll probably be the first channel that pops up. I believe we are. And please subscribe to us. And if you just want to listen to us audio-wise, you can also find us on iTunes and SoundCloud. Mr. Warner.
Yes. I love that sound. Go ahead.
Go ahead and tell us what the topic is today. But actually, before you do that, I really fucked up the intro because we're going to talk about the movies, the way we watch movies with delicious movie snacks, I guess with Sour Patch Kids and some Code Red.
I too have Sour Patch Kids, and I just have regular Mountain Dew. Because if you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you.
I love that movie. All right.
But
Ryan,
yeah,
what are we talking about?
Today we're going to talk
Ryan,
about...
Ryan, what are we talking about? Ryan.
Today?
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Today.
Yeah.
Not last week, not
no,
next
no,
week.
like
what are we talking
now? Yeah, like what are we talking about today?
Right
Ryan,
now.
What are we talking about today?
Yeah, right now?
Yeah.
You want me to say that right now?
No, right now.
Right now.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking about how music influences movies, how soundtracks make a movie better, how it can either make or break a movie. And this actually came from a friend of mine who called me out on my shit because, as everyone knows, I love Halloween. And we were talking about Halloween a few weeks ago, and he was watching the podcast and texted me and was like, hey, you never talked about this aspect of it. And I was like, you're fucking right, dude. I feel like an idiot. And what happened with the soundtrack of Halloween was John Carpenter finished the movie. Everything was done except for the score. Like, it was basically just a silent movie, except with the dialogue and sound effects, of course. He showed it to a female Hollywood executive. I can't remember her name, but she was pretty well known at the time. And he showed her the movie, and she was like, it's not scary. Like, this isn't going to make any money. It's not going to go anywhere. Like, your career's done, basically. He went, and John Carpenter is, of course, a composer as well. He grew up playing piano. His dad was a musician, so he grew up learning how to play music. So in all of his movies, he is the composer. So he went away with that, with what she was telling him. Went away with that, made some music for it, came back, showed her the exact same movie, nothing edited to it. He just added the score on top of it, and it scared the shit out of her. So it's like stuff like that can really make a movie better, because the score in Halloween is absolutely fucking terrifying.
And iconic.
Very iconic, but ding 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 ding. It's so simple but so effective.
Yeah, and a similar story like that happened in one of my favorite movies, which is Jaws. That movie obviously went through a lot of production troubles, and like they were way over budget, they weren't on time, the shark kept breaking. You know, anyone who knows like Jaws knows how
it was doomed from the get-go.
How fucking miserable that making that movie was. Well, they showed the cut without music to everybody, and they were all happy because they said it was okay. They were like, oh wow, you know, it was all right. We thought it was gonna be an absolute disaster, but hey, it was all right. It was all right. Good job, guys. It was all right. And then they put in the music, and they were like, holy shit, this is one of the best movies we've ever seen, ever. And ironically, trust your composers. If you're a young filmmaker, trust your music people. Because John Williams, when he first showed the score to Steven Spielberg of Jaws, Steven Spielberg laughed and thought it was a joke. And John was like, not verbatim, but he was like basically like, no, motherfucker, this is the music. Listen to it again.
Really?
Yeah, and played it for him again. And it's... Who doesn't know dun 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 dun. Also, just for FYI, our new short film Contrition's almost done. And the fucking music was done by a guy named Alex Garcia, who I went to high school with. The score's killer. I love it. I'm really, really happy with it.
We talked about some like serious ways music can influence a movie to make it scary or make it more iconic. Another example that I thought would like just how music makes the movie fun is Baby Driver.
Yeah.
And Edgar Wright actually made the playlist, had all the songs that's going to be in this movie before they even started shooting. So whenever they were filming, part of his direction was having his actors hit every mark with the beats. And I feel like that, with the editing style, makes the movie so much better. That movie is very fun, very enjoyable, and I feel like most of that comes from the music selection.
The movie is almost edited to the music.
Yeah, and it's phenomenal how he was able to do that, and it makes it so much more fun. And you cannot have that movie without music. And if you did it like of a more serious movie, it would be a completely different soundtrack, and it would be a completely different feel of the movie. And it's such a fun movie because of the music.
Mm-hmm. And another famous filmmaker who incorporated soundtracks and like just pop culture music in his movies, he would write them into the script, was John Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, famous for Breakfast Club and
Pretty in Pink.
Those movies. He would write, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, he would write into the script like, this song plays at this moment.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people, that for those who are screenwriters, don't do that. Don't do that.
And that's what people were telling Edgar Wright with Baby Driver. They were like, don't do it, man.
Yeah, because if you're a nobody and you write a script and you put, this song plays at this moment, they're going to throw your script in the fucking trash. Because they're like, no, that's not how that works. But then when you're John Hughes and you've made some successful movies and you have this vision in your head, you can get away with something like that.
And it also helps because he has done that with his other scripts. So he has experience doing it and, like you said, that success of doing it. So it helps a lot too. But I've never like heard of a filmmaker who actually does that. And you told me that and I was like genuinely shocked by that because I did not know that.
I think especially on, I want to say it was Breakfast Club. He did that. It might have been that or Ferris Bueller. Yeah. Like on one of them, he wrote like every song that's in that movie. He put it in the script.
Very fascinating. My favorite filmmaker has a beautiful taste in music, I think, is Quentin Tarantino. Like, think what you want about his movies, whether they're too violent, whether you don't like them, to each their own. I think his music taste is by far one of the best I've seen. And like his music always fits the moment. And what's really funny is in Django, it's the complete opposite, but it still works so well. Is in the shootout, obviously it's a Western movie, so you'd expect some like cowboy yeehaw music, but he plays like a modern rap song. I can't think of what it is, but it's like more modern rap song with the shootout, and it fits so well. And it's so astounding how he's able to like make his music fit his moments and feelings, and he's able to like amplify his movies with it. And I know I believe a soundtrack that you're fond of, correct me if I'm wrong, is First Man.
Oh yeah, just the score.
Yeah,
I really like the score in that movie. I just think it's really hard to like tell a music composer, hey, make a piece that captures awe and wonder.
Yeah,
you know, like that's not easy. You know, and there are several professions where you have to ask someone to do that. And, you know, if you have experience filmmaking, you can like, all right, maybe I can think of a script or a visual that like captures awe and wonder.
Yeah.
Or painting, but like a piece of music, like that's from scratch. I thought that movie captured that very well. And there are a lot of composers like John Williams. Everything that guy touches, he didn't do First Man, but everything that guy touches
is iconic.
Like E.T., Star Wars. What is Star Wars without?
It's Superman.
Okay. No, they fucking pull this joke on me all the time. They are different scores. They do sound similar. I'll give you that. They sound similar.
I think that was early in his career too, right?
No, Star Wars was 77, Superman was 78.
Okay.
Bam, bam. And I'm sure that the producers of Superman were like, hey, make it sound like Star Wars. And he was like, okay. How much money did you say? Okay.
Yeah. But he makes some iconic music like Harry Potter, you were saying, like
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, like all these scores.
We can go on and on.
People are
that's a list.
People know.
That's a list, and you're like, those are movies I've seen.
Yeah,
it's like those are movies that he's fucking conducted.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and not to mention like with I think his name's Adam, the guy who
Alan Silvestri.
Yeah, that guy, the guy who does the Avengers music. Oh my god. Does that amplify the fucking moments when you're watching it?
It's such a good score, but that's not even my favorite score that he's done.
Okay. What is it?
He did Back to the Future. And
oh my god, he did. Yeah.
I love the bum 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 dun 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 dun. I love that song.
Yeah.
He did that. It's so good. Imagine the Rocky montage without the Rocky song. It'd be really weird and boring.
It would be.
But Bill Conti, who did that, killed it. That song, by the way, couldn't get nominated for Best Original Score because it had lyrics.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, like fighting harder,
Mm-hmm.
like all. Oh, that's fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Yep.
that's a joke.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, just like this, like we'll keep going, but we have a friend, Nick. He's been here a few times. Every time he watches a movie with us, he's like, "That movie had a score." Like he just doesn't really like pay attention to it.
And he'll talk to you. I don't think scores have effects on movies. So we thought about titling this episode, "Hey Nick, fuck you."
Yeah, like
yeah, no, we love you, but
yeah,
no,
sometimes. But yeah, no, it's just like this, like just a few examples we've said, and like I said, we'll go on and keep talking about other ones. Like these music moments affect everything you feel about a movie, whether it's subconscious or not. It's affecting the way you view the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, I kind of want to go back to Avengers, like when in Infinity War, whenever Thor shows up to Wakanda and that powerful score behind it, that I think is what makes that moment even better.
Yeah.
Because if you just watch that with no sound, it's like it's still cool, but with that fucking like slow buildup of the Avengers theme, and then he crashes on Wakanda, so much better.
Another thing that I really, really love, and the thing is, superhero movies have the best fucking themes.
Absolutely.
And the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, Danny Elfman's Spider-Man score, I love that music, especially like over the opening credits.
Yeah.
It's such a good score.
You can't describe it, but it fits Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, and if it's that Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I think that what is his name? Who does the Tom Holland scores? He's a really famous composer. Why is it leaving me? Please look it up. It's gonna bug the shit out of me.
Yeah, composer for just
like Homecoming and Far From Home, because he does a bunch of other movies that I know. But I like his scores. I think his scores fit this Spider-Man very well also. And it's really all about
Michael Giacchino.
Yes, Michael Giacchino. God, I'm so sorry that I did not remember that.
Star Trek, War.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He does some J.J. Abrams stuff, yeah.
Ratatouille.
He might have done Rogue One, too.
Incredibles 2, Coco Cars. He does a lot of animated stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love his score for those modern Spider-Man movies.
Yeah. You know what has a really good score? I don't know if we've talked about it, but Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't really remember much
and
from that
movie. It's a great
movie.
original song, too.
Yeah. The music in that movie is so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's astounding how directors and filmmakers are able to go to people who make music and they're like, this is the moment.
Yep.
This is kind of the feel I want.
Yep.
And they come back with something completely original and they're like, how's this? And you're like, perfect.
Have you seen the behind the scenes video of Steven Spielberg talking to John Williams about E.T.?
Oh, it's so heartwarming.
It's so beautiful. But I'm just hearing him on the piano like dun 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 dun.
Yeah, and then I think and then you can see it on Spielberg's face. Like he gets excited. He's like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that fits my moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so fascinating how, like, because it's kind of the same thing but different. Where like filmmakers and directors have this idea in their head and they get it out on paper. Musicians do the same thing. They have this idea in their head. They put it on paper. They have it auditorial so you can listen to it. And it's so fascinating how those like two things come together to make something even better.
Yeah, and another modern movie that did music, that they made music a character in the movie, was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And not only did they bring back a bunch of like 70s and 80s pop songs like to be, you know, popular again.
Yeah.
But they made those songs a part of the part of the central character and a part of that film. So that movie without that music is not the same because music is literally part of the movie.
Absolutely.
And you know, you can have music as a whole story element to your film.
Mm-hmm.
And it works in spades like Guardians of the Galaxy.
2001, perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's visual storytelling, but it also has music to help push that story.
Mm-hmm.
Another movie I wanted to bring up was Hereditary. That score in that movie creates such a creepy atmosphere. And same thing with Midsommar. Like the scores in both those movies.
I like the score of Midsommar. I didn't love the movie, but I like the score.
Yeah. It's so, like, I've said it several times, but it's so fascinating how music amplifies your viewing experience. Because it would be completely different if there was just dialogue and sound effects and no sound. Or no music, rather.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to be reliant on music because it's the absence of music that can drive the scene.
Absolutely.
But the reason you know it's notable is because you'll notice in your head, like, there's no music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a scene that I'll use that example of is The Dark Knight Rises. That whole Batman trilogy, Hans Zimmer's score is fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, dude, the Joker's theme, The Dark Knight, still creeps me out. That song,
Really?
The first a minute and a half of that song is just like razors on a wire. Just
I'll have to go back and watch it to really listen to it.
It's like the first 90 seconds, but the song is awesome. It's really prevalent. It's throughout the movie, but it's really prevalent in the bank robbing scene.
Mm-hmm.
But he has great scores throughout this entire film, this entire trilogy. And then when Batman fights Bane, no music.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't.
And that's
I'm sure I caught it.
And subconsciously, that's what makes you worried that Batman's going to lose that fight.
Yeah.
It's because because usually when Batman fights, it plays his theme.
Yeah.
And then in that scene, nothing. So subconsciously, you're like, he's in trouble. So what's happening? And another lack of music example, I'll use Jaws. Every time the camera goes underwater and it's the shark, you hear the dun 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 dun. And then there's the scene where the kids prank everyone with the fake fin.
Yeah.
Well, every time that camera goes underwater, no music. When it's the kids and not the real shark.
Fascinating.
And that whole scene, there's no music. Because the threat isn't there. It's not real. And then when they realize it's the kids, and then someone yells across the thing, I think the shark's over here. It immediately cuts underwater and dun 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 dun. And then the audience knows, like, oh shit, this is the real one.
Tension.
Yeah.
Very fascinating. I'd have to go back and really watch that.
Yes.
So, like, really pick up on that.
Yes.
Because, like, while I watch movies, I pick up on the score and music a little bit more than, like, most people, I feel like. But I don't catch, like, every single moment like that. But you've seen that movie, like, 1,000 times.
And I love, speaking of other scores, I love John Ottman's X-Men score from X-Men 2.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. I love that.
Yeah.
So good. And,
well, I want to go back to kind of, like, touching on Rocky. Like, Creed 2. Oh. The training montage.
Ludwig Göransson, whatever his name is, brilliant composer. The Black Panther score is fucking awesome. Yeah. And I'm so happy it won that Oscar.
Yeah. Very well deserved. That
score was so good. But yeah, no, but his Creed music's really good.
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
And it makes me happy that in both Creed movies they incorporate the original Rocky theme somewhere. Just like the opening, dun 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 dun, just for like a second.
And it's so iconic. And like, of course, the James Bond theme, like everyone fucking knows that theme.
Yeah.
You can associate theme songs and like tunes to certain movies and franchises. Like Rocky, you connect that with Rocky. You connect the James Bond opening scroll theme with
Star Wars,
with James Bond. Where are you at?
I zoned out and I heard opening crawl theme and I was like, Star Wars.
Yeah. No, I mean even Star Wars has a very iconic theme that when you're watching the opening crawl and you hear that and you associate it with Star Wars. Like it's so like Harry Potter does the same thing. Yeah. Like even though they might have like completely different soundtracks, they'll have that one that ties it back into the franchise and you're like, I know exactly what I'm watching.
Yeah. And another thing with like with James Bond, was it Casino Royale that didn't play the theme till the very end of the movie?
Yep.
I remember someone was a friend of mine was a huge James Bond fan, and he loves Casino Royale. It's Zach.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, okay. Huge James Bond fan.
Did not know that.
Yeah, but he was watching Casino Royale. He goes, "Don't get me wrong, I love that movie, but part of me was shitty the whole time because I'm like, they better play that fucking theme song." And then he goes, "They played it at the end, so I had to go back and rewatch it again, knowing like it's okay, they play it, and I enjoyed it much more."
I also want to talk about A Quiet Place.
Oh my god! Especially the scene. I have a scene and piece of music in my head when Emily Blunt screams and the fireworks go off, and then John Krasinski takes off, and those drums are like.
Oh my god! Yeah,
so good,
so fucking good.
Have you seen?
Especially since that movie has to rely on its score.
Yeah, because there's no effing sound.
Yes.
And did you see Mad Max Fury Road?
No, not yet.
Junkie XL's score in that, so good.
Yeah.
Like it's like rock and roll meets techno meets music score.
Oh, hell yeah.
It is insanity.
Is that what got him hired to Justice League, then eventually fired from Justice League?
No, he was like studying under Hans Zimmer, I think.
Okay.
So like for example, Batman v Superman was both him and Hans Zimmer. They scored that movie together.
Okay.
But before that, he did Mad Max.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch. Or like I haven't seen it, but I'll have to go back and watch
hey,
it because I have it.
the DCEU's got great music, man.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer killed it again. The Man of Steel theme is awesome.
I'm never gonna do superhero movies again.
And dude, you know what? His score in Dark Phoenix was good. The Dark Phoenix.
He did the Dark Phoenix score.
Yes, he did. And
My God.
And the music's good. And which one? The Wonder Woman theme.
Yeah.
He did
my
that.
God.
He
Yeah,
did
yeah.
That music is fucking incredible.
Yeah, especially whenever she lands in Batman vs Superman.
Oh yeah.
Like, so it's so chilling to hear it. But
Like,
I want to go back
that whole
to
movie. I'm like, wow, this is really disappointing. And then
Yeah.
Wonder Woman lands. You're like, all right, let's go.
I'm all about this shit.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Superman though, Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
The whole like flying, like whenever he gets the Superman suit and he walks out and it's like a slow like crawl build up. And then he like fucking takes off and and the score just shoots up with him as well. Like, it's such a beautiful moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Another movie I have pulled up is 8th Grade. How Bo Burnham.
Good choice, because Bo Burnham has history with music,
Yeah.
and while he didn't score that film, you know that he had a very specific idea in his head of what he wanted that music to sound like.
Absolutely.
Especially to reflect the kind of movie he was making.
Yeah.
And that score is all over the place in that movie, but in a good way. That's what he wanted it. There were times where he wanted it in your face, and there were times where he wanted it to pull back and be subtle.
Yeah.
And I think he accomplished both of those to perfection. I don't remember the composer's name on that film, but they did wonderful.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Especially the pool party scene.
Oh my God, yeah.
So
And
comfortable.
Probably one of my favorite scores of all time is from Hans Zimmer. He did True Romance.
Did he really?
Yeah, the You're So... I don't know. Can I play it or no? Is that a copyright thing?
Yeah, don't.
It's probably a copyright thing.
Yeah.
I'll play it for you later.
Okay.
But it's so good. Like...
No, Meg, I know it, but I didn't know he...
Yeah, no, Hans Zimmer did True Romance. I had no idea until I was scrolling through the soundtrack, and I was like, "This is wild," because you don't associate him with little independent movies like that.
Oh, you know what else he did? That's also a very, very iconic score. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Did he really?
Bum bum bada bum bum bada bum. That's Hans Zimmer.
I fucking love that.
It's a great score. It's so good.
Oh my God!
I used to
love
work out
those
to
movies. Really?
I used to work out to the Pirates of the Caribbean theme.
That's awesome.
That's why I'm still fat. No, but yeah, no, he did that. And what is Pirates of the Caribbean without that fucking song?
Yeah, nothing.
It's probably still what it is. One good movie. The rest of them suck.
I like all of them.
He's wrong.
I'm a sucker for pirate movies, but again, how many fucking pirate movies are there?
Yeah,
out there?
yeah. But yeah, no. But again, another version of just an iconic score.
And I want to talk about a very specific... Actually, we could talk about two specific scores from the same franchise. Kingsman. We'll talk about the first one, and then we'll talk about the second one.
Okay.
So the first one, it has Freebird playing with the one shot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so good, because,
the guitar solo from Freebird, yeah.
Yeah, has the guitar solo, and, every fucking beat for the song is a gunshot or a hit or a punch. It's so fascinating.
The whole construction of that scene is stupid. How well it is, how well it's done.
And it's not a one shot.
No.
They hide it with muzzle flashes and quick camera zooms, but it's so good how Matthew Vaughn was able to fucking have that solo and have that scene. That makes me wonder if he crafted that scene with that song in mind.
Maybe.
Because I don't think...
Because I've never read anything that says so. I don't know.
But
I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah. Because how do you do
case.
that scene without that song?
Yeah.
Without that song specifically.
Yeah.
And then in Kingsman 2...
Which is just an okay movie.
I like it. But I think the first one's better. With... What's the Prince song that plays...
Let's Go Crazy.
Yeah,
in the
Let's
beginning.
Go Crazy.
Yeah.
How they start off with the song, because it's they're fighting in the car, and then Eggsy smashes his face up against the radio and starts to play, and you're like, I'm okay with this.
First movie to use a Prince song since he died.
Yep, because he had a tight control over his music.
Yes, he did. His family was like, we'll take that money.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the last movie he did was Batman.
Maybe. Or he
because
did...
I know he did the music for the
Purple,
original Batman.
It might have been Purple Rain, whichever one came last.
84 was Purple Rain.
Oh yeah, so there's Batman then. It might have been. Well, he refused to have his music play where he wasn't doing the soundtrack.
Yes, and he did the soundtrack for Batman, which is why.
Yeah, and he had to do the soundtrack, yeah.
Ooh, this one's also really good. Dunkirk.
with the ticking watch the whole time.
Yes,
oh
that
hell
is
yes,
so brilliant.
Hell yes,
because it's
another Hans Zimmer, right?
Yeah, Hans Zimmer. Because it like you said, incorporates a ticking. Because like these people are running out of time, and they need they need time to get out of here, and they don't have it, and it's so.
I'm gonna watch that movie tonight. It's been so long since I watched that.
I don't have anything planned. Let's fucking watch it. Do you have it on 4K?
Dunkirk. Yes, I do. Fuck yes, I have it on 4K. Come
Oh my
on,
god,
come
hell
on.
yes.
Yeah.
Has Hannah seen it?
No, I don't think she has. Hannah, give us a minute. Have you seen Dunkirk? No, she hasn't. Yeah, so we're gonna have to do that.
We're absolutely watching that.
She also hasn't seen Interstellar,
I also have not seen that.
which also has a really great score.
Is what I've heard.
You've never seen Interstellar?
Nope.
Fuck that. We're going to do a doubleheader. We're doing Interstellar and Dunkirk. Fuck
I'm
you,
all
man.
about that.
Dude, a Christopher Nolan doubleheader? Is it my fucking birthday? No, but yeah.
So, on the topic of like incorporating different sounds with your music, with the ticking watch from Dunkirk,
Yeah.
is the I'm gonna fuck it up, but it's the from King Arthur, where they're running, and then you hear like the heavy breathing with it, like
dude, that score's awesome. That movie's great. I don't give a shit what anyone says. I love that fucking movie. The Guy Ritchie King Arthur movie.
Yeah, so fucking good,
so good. I love that movie.
But like, it's like little stuff like that really not only enhances your music, but your
just the whole overall tone and feel of your movie.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because like in that scene that I'm talking about, like King Arthur and his mates are running away from the law because they're gonna fucking get caught and hung. So like they're naturally running away, and then you hear that like heavy breathing with the music and tempo, and it's so good.
And just this is gonna go a little bit off topic.
Yeah.
Well, not off topic, but changing direction. Something else in movies that I think, in terms of music, that I think is really well done is when the music purposely doesn't match what's going on to give you an eerie feeling.
Okay.
An early example that I can think of is the original Halloween 2, and the one 1981, whichever the original Halloween 2 was.
Okay.
This is a trope that's used in a bunch of movies and TV shows now. But if I'm wrong, correct me. But I'm pretty sure that this was the first movie. You know the song "Mr. Sandman"? Mr. Sandman. It uses that in one of the scenes.
Okay.
And I don't want to say which scene it is because it's spoilery. Fuck it. Do you care?
Yeah, just fucking.
The
tell
timeline
me.
doesn't matter anyway.
And it's my fault for not saying that.
But when Michael Myers dies,
Okay.
well, what happens is, I won't tell you everything that happens because it's kind of fucked up, but basically, he gets blown up.
Wow.
But he...
Sounds similar.
Like, the room explodes, and you're like, is he finally dead? And he walks out the hallway, fully on fire, and starts walking down the hospital. But he eventually just falls down and dies.
But it's to that song.
But as he's about to die, they play that song. And it is so unsettling and so eerie. And for some reason, I'm blanking on examples, but several movies do that where they play a song just to offset what you're seeing, and it just makes you feel really uncomfortable.
I can think of an example. I'm pretty sure it's Kill Bill 1 with the blonde girl who's walking down and she's whistling.
Oh,
Like that fucking tune, whatever it is, because she's gonna go kill the bride. Like, very, very eerie feeling that doesn't really match. I mean, it kind of does, I guess, because it's creepy. But yeah, no, very, very good example.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but dude, musical scores, man, they kick ass.
They really do. I can't really find anything else that really like sticks out as a good. I mean. A lot of movies have good scores.
Yeah,
but...
like we could break down individual scores all day long. I'm trying to think of like a specific...
Oh, how about this? Because it's a musical movie, but it's not.
Okay.
Whiplash.
Oh, yes, the jazz and the... Yeah.
And the way, similar to Edgar Wright,
very
how
intense.
He, like, edits it.
And that movie won Best Editing.
Yeah.
Baby Driver was not even nominated.
I know, it's a shame.
That is bullshit.
But yeah, like how he uses the jazz... as like, because it's a musical movie but it's not, and how he builds tension with that jazz because he is like starting at a slow tempo and then builds up and then stops because his instructor's so fucking strict.
Dude, I love J.K. Simmons in that movie.
So fucking good.
Dude, La La Land, all the music in La La Land, all of it.
It's
so good.
Everything about that movie is perfect.
Yes, agreed, big agree.
Yes.
Big agree there.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything I had to talk about. Oh. No, not really in this movie. Sherlock Holmes.
I like that
Sherlock
score.
Holmes?
Yeah.
It's good. It's
Yeah,
fun.
no, yeah. That's really fun and exciting. Something I don't think we should get into just naming random movie scores.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm just gonna stop.
Yeah, but one more thing I'll add.
Yeah.
I love when characters in movies have their own score. Like the movie
Okay.
has a score, and then characters have a score.
Okay, do you have an example?
Yeah, like Rey in The Force Awakens
Okay.
has her own score. Like Princess Leia has her own score.
Okay, yeah.
Like whenever Han and Leia are together, they play a certain song.
Mhm.
Darth Vader has the Imperial March. So when you hear these songs, it's a signal of either that character's coming or it's something about that character.
Mhm.
Like and you have to go back and watch this scene as soon as we're done. My favorite moment in Star Wars: The Force Awakens is when Rey catches the lightsaber.
Yes.
Well, when she does that, because her theme plays in the beginning of the movie when you first see her, her theme song. When she catches that lightsaber, her theme starts and it fades into the Force theme.
Really?
And it is fucking. I have chills. It is
I
fucking
literally just got chills too.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like it starts off her. Dun, 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 dun. It fades like that.
That is
And it
so
is
fucking
so
good.
good. But like, yeah.
Holy
like,
shit.
Like I said, the Joker's theme in The Dark Knight, whenever you'd hear the beginning of it in a random scene, and you're like, oh shit, something with the Joker's about to happen because you hear
and
the
you just
song.
subconsciously know that too.
Yeah.
Which is so it's so awesome that music has that influence on you like that.
Yeah, no, it's
And
amazing.
you could even say Jaws, like Bruce. That's his
that's
theme.
the shark's theme, yeah. And also, the original Star Wars, each like set piece has its own memorable piece like song to it. Like the throne room has its own song,
Which is the best Star Wars theme out there.
I know you love that.
Because I just watched that movie the other day with Joanna, and my God.
my favorite bit is after Ben Kenobi dies and Han and Luke are fighting off the TIE fighters.
Mm-hmm.
That theme that
Okay.
plays, that and the Death Star trench run
Yeah.
are my favorite themes from that movie. But yeah, but like it's not just you can't just have a song and say this is the theme. You have to have character themes. You have to have themes for different tones, different scenes. You have to set the stage. At least a good composer will do these things.
Yeah.
And like for example, Wakanda has its own theme in Black Panther, which is pretty much Wakanda's its own character in that movie.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
in Infinity War, in the scene when they're trying to decide where to go, and Captain America does the thing where he's like, I know a place. Well, before he says that, for like 10 seconds, they're in that room talking, and subtly you hear doon 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 doon.
Yeah.
It's the Wakanda theme, so that when the camera goes on Captain America, you're like, he's gonna say like in your head because you hear the song, you're like Wakanda, that's it, and then it goes to Wakanda and the whole theme plays.
And that's how like filmmakers bring you into their movie.
It's a
'cause
transition.
They make you part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very fascinating. Very good.
Musical
talk.
scores are great, Nick. God damn
Yeah,
it.
fucking try to listen to them, dude.
But yeah, no, but I think that's kind of pretty much it for today. Yeah.
No, like I said, very good talk. But go ahead and plug us.
We are Movie Nights. You can find us on YouTube. Please subscribe to us. We're almost at 100.
Ooh.
We're very young. Let's get to that 100, guys.
Oh my god.
So sad. You can also follow us on SoundCloud and Facebook at Movie Nights, Twitter at Nights_movie, and Instagram at Nights_movie as well.
Yeah, but we are most active on Facebook.
Yes, and YouTube. But our SoundCloud is actually just called the Movie Nights Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That's our SoundCloud. So yes.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
No.
Great. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll hope to see you soon.
Peace.